getting ready for the Dirt Kings final. The DXR Dirt Kings final 2019, 10 seconds till they go. It is Ongaro on pole. Lutz, Burton, Figueiredo, Boots and Kilic are behind him. And they are away. And thankfully the timing screen has changed. So off we go. And they fly around the first corner. And in the lead it is Davide Ongaro, already with a few yards, which he's taken out from Lutz. Third place is Burton. They've gone off in order. Fourth place will be Figueiredo, and fifth will be the car of Elliott Boots. And straight out of the blocks, this is what Burton did every single time in the heat. He just was so quick out of the block. 29.4, obviously he got a bit of advantage, and Burton has clipped in third. So Ongaro, Lutz, Burton. We are with Ongaro, the young Italian phenom, they call him, the associated driver with the LRP engine, the world champion. And he's pulled out a lead in the first spurt of 1.38 seconds. And behind him, Ryan Lutz now is gathering himself and working out what on earth he can do about him. As I said before, on an individual lap, all these drivers in the top 10 are as quick as Davide Ongaro. Unfortunately, they're not as quick as Davide Ongaro over 10 laps, because he can do 10 laps the same speed. That time round, it was a 31.9 against 32.3, so 4 tenths more eked out by Ongaro. Oh, he's lucky there. Had the razor-like control. Took the car, it was arching like it was going to roll over and put it flat down. So, Ongaro turning back up onto the step-up. He'll come through the chicane before he goes onto the Nemo Racing berm. Hitting the low line. He'll come back fire himself through the switchback that takes you over the timing scoring loop here before he goes up the main straight, past pit in. Goes to the sharp right-hand turn and into the dip. Fires up through the Bullet jump and comes underneath camera 2 before dropping into the hidden dip and then coming on to the washboard section. Down up 6 feet on the Marxist jump before he comes to the DXR turn and then back away again, and that's a lap. And then that last lap he gained nearly a second on Lutz, so his lead now is 3 seconds in 2 minutes. Scampering away would be the feeling that Ongaro is giving everyone here. But now, don't forget, these are long races, anything can happen. Car looking beautifully balanced. Oh, he's so balanced he can take liberties with it. It was slightly turning as he flew through the air. Behind him, the battle is being drawn. And what we'll do now is we'll drop back to Ryan Lutz, so back to the second car, and see what he can do about catching up to Ongaro. My guess is not an awful lot, unless Ongaro has a problem, but it looks like we could have a quite tasty battle between Lutz and Burton. There's only a second between. Burton in the background is here with the yellow car. Lutz, who converted from Tekno to Agama chassis over the winter. Still getting used to his new ride. Very affable, tall American. That time round actually managed to gain 3/10 seconds back on our leader, Ongaro. And as you can see, Burton running in his boot tails at 1.34 seconds behind. Behind them is Boots, 3 seconds back. Canas, the second behind that. Then Burak Kilic, Figueiredo not doing as well in this race as in the semi. Zanchatin in 8th, Hurst in 9th, Birkin Kilic in 10th. And they fire down the straight again. That time round, it was a 6/10 gain for Ongaro. Burton reined in Lutz slightly, so the battle of the second could soon be joined. Lutz flies. Burton getting closer. Now the question now comes about pit stops. Are they all going to run to 9 minutes and just do 4 pit stops, or will some have to stop earlier and do 5? If you run 9 minutes, at 9, 18, 27 and 36 minutes, and it all divides nicely, 45 minutes into 5 parts. But obviously, if you are having to run 7.5 minutes, you need to extra stop. Slightly eked out the lead that time round, did Lutz. And I think actually Ongaro lost some of his lead. So Ongaro's had a little bit of a bobble. So Ongaro's lead's going to come down this time from the 3.1. As you saw him just coming up, there's Ongaro. So Ongaro's had a mistake in this one. And that's the lead come back. So 1, 2 and 3 in the same frame. Ongaro's lap time was a 34.7. Yeah, it lost 2.5 seconds. His lead got down to 1.27 seconds. And only 0.84 to Burton. So all 3 cars in the same frame after 4 minutes and 20 seconds. Lutz is the car. Oh, and Lutz has gone! And so they've both got in sympathy with each other. So Ongaro gets a bonus there because Lutz made a mistake. It looks like Burton panicked to try and avoid the car and took the whole thing again. Let's see that happen again. So over the washboard, Lutz went a little bit wide, and it's the penultimate one that catches them. That's it. Didn't get the land, landed in the front lock, and then in seeing that, I think Burton went, oh my, what the heck's going on there, and reacted badly. And so that effectively means they've all back lost what they gained the previous lap. Burton lost massively, had a 38-second lap there. So Lutz still sticking in seconds. He goes up and over the Marx's jump. He's now back to being 4 seconds behind. And this is the problem, really. If you're going to have a chance of beating Ongaro here, you've got to make 0 mistakes. Right, can we just let Lutz go through and get the next car, which is Burton, the yellow car? It should be. Oh, it's not. He's dropped out, has he? Is that a lap's car? That next car, no, that is the 8 car of Canas. So we'll pick up the 8 car of Canas. Go 1 car forward, Frank, the 8 car of Canas. I think Burton may have had a problem, may have stopped for fuel. No, Burton's dropping down the order to 7th. I think so. He may have had a second problem on the following lap. So Burton, 2 mistakes. This is 1 car of Canas with the S-Works. Also, Boots had issues as well. I don't think anyone was stopped yet, so this is just how it is. Canas now in 3rd, with Burak Kilic in 4th. Figueiredo in 5th. Hurst in 6th. Ricky Burton in 7th. And Elliott Boots in 8th. As we get close to people we think about making their first stop if they're doing 7:30s, but not if they're doing 9. So Canas goes round on his own. He is ahead of Burak Kilic by about a tenth of a second. Ongaro leads by 3.2 seconds. He lost 4/10 that last lap. Ricardo Burton a long way back and in a lot of traffic at the moment with a bit of time. So let's just drop back 1 more. We'll pick up Burak Kilic, who should be just behind him. There's Burak putting in a good performance here, the Kilic brother, the older of the Kilic brothers. Actually, the younger, isn't it? The Burak's come through, sorry. Birkin. There's the older one, sorry, Burak's the older one. I'll keep going around the circle. But the older, with the his blue and white colours, been running for a long time. So Burak. In 4th, the gap between first and second has come down to 2.56 seconds. They did almost exactly the same last lap at point 1. In comes the first pit stop. So first thing we already know is that Burak Kilic is on a 7.5 minute strategy as another car comes in behind him. So we've got a lot of cars now are coming in. Got an issue with one of the cars there. So some of the cars are back markers. So they're definitely doing 7.5s. The Peugeot comes in. I'm just looking out the window. And Ongaro is doing it, and so is Lutz. So Ongaro and Lutz are all doing the 7.5 minutes. Is anybody going to try and do 9 minutes? The answer appears to be no, because Canas is also going in. So everyone's decided that 9 minutes is not doable and 7.5 minutes is much better, so we're on a 5-stop race. So Burak being the first one in will now reap the rewards. And Lutz lost a bit of time on that in-lap. And this is the point where it begins to get slightly confusing because everybody's doing everybody. So let's go and join our leader who's about to go to the main straight, Ongaro, in the silver and the orange car at the top corner now. As the first steps of stops unwind, and Ongaro now has a 3.34 second lead on Lutz. And Lutz keeping him honest. In the semi-final he was gaining more than a second a lap on the entire field, so Lutz keeping him honest with 3.34 behind after 8 minutes and 23 seconds of the 45 minutes. Canas back a further 7. Kilic quite close, Canas, Figueiredo, and the rest of them all kind of got little comfortable gaps. A couple of seconds to Boots, a couple of seconds to Burton, a couple of seconds to Crank, a couple of seconds to Skidmore. So, Ongaro now deals about market, puts a lap on James Peugeot in 14th. Always looks quite close, something terrible happening, it never does. The car pitter-patters over the washboard, drops down and turns away from us before up the step up, which is incredibly hard. I mean, look at it for real, that is a very, very high jump. And just like last night's late early finals, the sun is streaming in from the side of the building here at the Harper Adams Agricultural College and University in Telford in Shropshire, in the middle of England, about 50 miles from Birmingham. We seen you down there for a very long time, didn't he? Last time round, 31.9 was this man, David Ongaro, 32.2 for Lutz, lost 3/10. Still about an accident ahead, or an accident away. Canas has dropped off Lutz. Burton's not really come back after those 2 problems early on. No one really surprised to see this happening at the moment, but there's still 35 minutes to go. And that car is so well balanced and so flat on the back straight. Problem behind him, I think that was maybe Neil Cragg having a nightmare and dropping back a lap. There are several cars which are painted the same way as Neil Cragg's cars, we found out, in yellow and green. So now the lead is 4 seconds as Lutz has dropped back a little bit further. When Ongaro gets underneath you, Frank, you let him go, and let's pick up Ryan Lutz, who's the pink and blue car. It'll be 4 seconds before he turns up in second place. And there he is, mired in a bit of traffic, which may have been the reason why he lost some time. That time round, he lost a further second because Ongaro stuck in a 31.65. So Ongaro now is pulling the pin, let himself settle to the first tank full, and now absolutely pulling the pin in the second tank full. 5.37 seconds ahead. Still Knaus in third. Burak Kilic in fourth. Figueiredo now beginning to show more of the semi-final form up to fifth. Boots still getting used to his new car in sixth. Johnny Skidmore in seventh. Jack Hurst in eighth. Burton off to a good start down to ninth. Another car needs to get out of the way. That I think may have been Zanchatin actually. So Zanchatin not really enjoying his time either here at the moment with the Techno. Whereas the new Agama for Lutz is suiting him as well as anybody apart from Ongaro. So Lutz flies around. Last time round, he actually gained 6/10 on Ongaro, but I think some of this is traffic affected. So we're down about 20 laps, and at the end of 21 laps, Lutz is how far behind? 4 seconds, so he's losing at 0.2 of a second a lap effectively. He has managed to gain a bit back this time. Now this track is one of the more American-style tracks. They should favour in some ways Lutz, but of course Ongaro is the world champion and wins on anything. There'll be a question mark for all those who are trying to race him in Manila in 2 weeks' time. How are they going to beat him in RCGP? Because that's an outdoor track in this style, much hotter. So that was going to set a big challenge, even though it's been lovely weather here and very un-Harper Adams-like weather. But it peaked at 21 in Manila in 2 weeks' time. It's going to be about 38 degrees. But Lutz, 2 on his car, qualified second, out of the first semi-final, hops down, lost 1.5 seconds that last lap, and I would imagine he has the experience to be doing just his own thing at the moment. Just turning laps, hoping for the best, not pushing anything, making it work for him. As we reach the 12-minute mark. That lap round he gained a 10. So he has a lap where he loses 4/10, then he gains a 10th, but the net effect is he's lost 3/10 over 2 laps. Knaus still third. Burak Kilic is fourth. Lutz now going up onto the step up, just looking where Ongaro is still shooting away. He doesn't have to take 2 cars this lap, so my guess is the gap will come down as he's lapped both the 7 and the 8. So he's lapped both Neil Cragg and not the 8, it must have been the 10 of Burak Kilic. And indeed, it was a gain there of 1.3 seconds for Lutz, but that's really because Ongaro is stuck in traffic. And that's convenient, the traffic's thrown itself off the track, so Lutz gets a free pass to the first bit of traffic. And then continues round. We have 3.15, the next bit of traffic, which I think is, that's Burak Kilic. So still 2 cars between him and Ongaro. Ongaro bunged on a 31.97 there, 32.18 for the man we're with, Lutz. Chasing. He needs to do this bit of traffic. We just don't quite see Ongaro in the same shot. Those 2 cars you can see are back markers. With the lead out to 3.43 seconds. It needs to be about 2.5 before we can see him in the same shot. He might get a little glip. No, those are the back markers again. You can get a glimpse there as a 31.4 that time round. Ongaro probably realised the gap was getting a bit uncomfortable. Just stuck down a 31.48 against a 32.3. So turning off the laps, not doing an awful lot of good. Gets through another piece of traffic. Let's see if we can try and see if we can find car 4 of Figueiredo, because he's in a bit of a battle with Boots, or was at one point. Not sure if he still is, to be honest. And then coming up now, getting close to the second stop. And what's happened there? The excitement. It was a 13 that went over. The leaders have got right together, so it's gone right. First and second are right together. Whilst I was looking for a different car, they come in the pit there. It's a race to the pit stops. Lutz and Ongaro both in the field at the same time. Up, down, drop. Who's going to be first? It's just about the same. Fantastic pit stopping there by the two of them. A problem from Ongaro on the in lap, and suddenly Lutz was right behind them as I was looking elsewhere for Figueiredo. I couldn't see him because these two having a bit of a row of their own. Good driving there, I think, from Matt Lewis to let them both through, but already Ongaro's got, hang on, you're a little bit too close now, I'm going to get away from them. But Lutz making this a much closer battle than we thought as we were a quarter of the way through. But already in this lap, what was a yard and a half has gone to a second half as Ongaro has just scampered out. He's so good on those fresh laps. 38.4 against 39.4. That includes the pit stop, but the pit stops are basically identical. So Lutz now has to try and get hold of Ongaro, who can see in front of frame and kind of lose a little bit of time going around the corner on the secondary dip before going over the washboard. Lutz now has to try and apply some pressure to the young Italian. And it seems mostly that it's traffic that's causing problems. We're now with Ongaro. So we move forward to Ongaro. About to go across the start finish. He's got two bits of traffic in front of him. Will they peel off in the pit lane? Conveniently, no, they haven't. They've carried on being in front of him. I believe that's Ricardo Burton is about to lap. So Burton's race has disintegrated the past 10 minutes. Lutz lost another no time at all. They had exactly the same lap that last time. 1.73 seconds behind. And now Ongaro will have his sights taken by Burton. And in front of Burton is the 13 car of Johnny Skidmore, and they are racing. Skidmore and Burton are racing for position. They're racing, and Skidmore right other side. They are racing for position 7 and 8, and Burton's just got 7 back again. But Ongaro, he's got round one of them. I was getting unsighted by him. He's got round one of them, and in the same time he gained the second on Lutz last time round. So he's carving through the traffic, and that was lucky. Burton made a mistake, and he got a free pass, but lucky you make your own luck by being good. And so, having been close to within half a second, Ongaro now has eased it back out again to 3 almost immediately. This time round, the score for Ongaro is 32-1 as he had to get past some traffic, and it's 32-2 for Lutz. Now, any second now they're going to the unknown because no one's gone more than 20 minutes, and we start going to what's going to happen with tyre wear. Historically, though, it's not been a massive issue here at Harper Adams on this clay surface. We kind of know you need a slightly different compound. And Ongaro shoots away. Putting the foot down. Hopping up and through. Getting a lap. Is that putting a lap on Elliott Boots? I think it is. So he's now lapped Boots after 18 minutes. Lutz is taking it too. And in fairness, Canas actually is holding on after being dropped. He's now only 8 seconds off the lead, Canas. So possibly he can make a comeback and come back towards Lutz, who's 3 seconds back of this battle, having gone by Boots. Ongaro. Can we wait now for Lutz? So it's a 3 second wait. There is Lutz. He's got some traffic in between. I think it was less than 3 seconds, but there's traffic involved. And the lead changes and drops down to 2.6. Yeah, there was a bit visually a bit less, but it's very traffic effective. But Lutz absolutely keeping the boy honest here. Not that car, that one. That's right. The number 2 car of Ryan Lutz. 2.7 seconds. Ongaro, though, has cleared more traffic than he has. Ongaro's got past Boots. Lutz has not. No, I don't think he's massively lost much time this lap either. 32.6. No, he's gained 6/10. So a couple of good laps for Lutz here. And he's back in within 2 seconds. He does have Boots in between them, which is going to be an unsighting situation. He actually did lose a little bit of time there, landing off the bottom of the bullet jump, but only perhaps a tenth of a second, perhaps worst case at 2/10. So it's 2 cars ahead is the leader. The car ahead is Elliott Boots, but Elliott Boots, much to anyone's surprise, is actually a lap back already after 19 minutes and 27 seconds. Coming round the Nemo Racing berm again. And the lead now between Lutz and Ongaro goes down to 1.79. He gained 2.4. So at this phase, Lutz has found some speed. Now, whether he's been... The interesting thing is that Boots isn't being dropped by Ongaro particularly, and isn't being particularly gained on by Lutz. So it looks like at this point, Boots is a rebound. Oh, Ongaro's off, so Ongaro's gone. We've now got to think a change to the lead. Did Lutz get past there? Has Ongaro made a small mistake, or will he just stay ahead? No, he just stayed ahead. He got the, so now they are back face to face. A small overrun there, and Lutz. So Boots got back ahead again and unlapped himself. Now, oh, what's happened there? Is that Lutz has gone off? It is. Oh, and he's been put back up there. That's a massive mistake by Lutz there when he had a chance. Didn't get much help from the marshal either, who just put him back down the bottom again. And that is a major let-off for Ongaro. Let's take a chance to see that previous moment if we can. Yeah. Whilst we see how far behind Lutz is. So we look ahead. The mistake is made by off on the left-hand side, and somehow he just managed to stay ahead there on Ongaro. So Lutz is 5.28 behind. But another mistake now. Let's go back to live. They cut their first and second right together again on the step up, because another mistake was made there by Ongaro through the washboard section. So, oh, it's gone too wide again up on the berm. So, oh, it's on again. Oh, Ongaro's had a nightmare lap. What happened there? Let's see that one again very quickly, please. So, already very close. For some reason, Ongaro's gone way too wide. Misses braking point, comes back in again, sweeps across but hits it, and then gets scooped up by Lutz. So Ongaro's had a really dodgy couple of minutes. I mean, Lutz had some bad luck as well. So back again, and it's with Ongaro. Now, where is Ongaro in relation to Lutz? Because I haven't seen Lutz for a second. Where is he? There he is. Lutz has a nice little lead. So Lutz leads. Ongaro second. Now we'll see the metal of the boy. Now, no, Ongaro, please. So Ongaro up the main straight, turns right. Let's see if he can catch up Lutz. Out through the bullet turn. Lands in front of camera 2. And it's now down to Ongaro to show us what he's got. I'm sure he's had quite a bit in reserve as one of the back markers breaks hard to keep out of the way. It's Lutz you can see up ahead, and we are we're 15 seconds off halfway, and at this point we all thought Ongaro would be winning by a lap. But Lutz is absolutely, and the other thing to point out is actually he's only 0.6 of a second ahead of one Carlos Canas. That car behind, that blue car, that's not a back marker, that's the third place. They're coming to the third stop. Oh, he's made another mistake. Oh, has the Iceman broken? He's got to sit down. He's got a chance now. Think about it, Davide. You've got a chance to relax, hold it down. Can you push? Because actually now he's in net third because Canas went past him whilst he was upside down the pit lane. So we're going to stay with Ongaro now and see what happens. Because the stagger will unwind. They are all pitting about the same time. So you will see Lutz going in and you will see Canas going in soon. Canas doing a superb job in his early runs with the S-Works, whereas Ongaro looking fallible for the first time in several months. But the thing is, he has to be able to gather himself and just do what he wants to do. I think there's a problem in the pit exit there for Canas, actually. I think Canas got tied up in the pit exit. I'm not totally sure. That is the one car of Ongaro. Just trying to see where he is in relation to everyone else. Who's taken fuel, who hasn't. Lutz, I don't think, has taken fuel. He's going a bit longer. Where is Lutz? Right, Lutz is now... Yeah, so they're both taking fuel. They're pretty much a second and a half apart. They've got... What happens is you've got Boots in between them. Unfortunately, Canas got held up in the pit lane during his pit stop. There's a very good little move there by Boots to let him through. So first and second are right together again. Lutz and Ongaro. Ongaro are with Lutz just ahead on the washboard section. And Canas, very unlucky, got held up in the pit stop by someone else's accident in the pit lane and got stuck. And in net effect, he lost about 3 seconds. So now first and second right together to go through the switchback. We are over halfway at the 2019 DXR Dirt Kings, brought to you by Nemo Racing and Bullet. As we look fast, as suddenly Ongaro is having to work. But where's he gone? So Ongaro had a problem in the dip there. We were waiting for him to come out. And the gap that was 0.9 of a second is going to go up. As Lutz almost loses it. But sorry, Ongaro almost loses it in his chase for Lutz. Having to push hard. He's now got a back marker in between him. And that is the yellowy car as Ryan Lutz comes to complete another lap. We've got the 14 machine of Matt Lewis. He'll get out of the way. He knows what he's doing. But Ongaro isn't gaining. That was a gain of 1.2 seconds. It was a problem that Ongaro had this part of the track last time. He lost a bit of time, and now he's playing catch-up, and now he's having to push to the end. And of course, don't forget, they've not driven their cars at 25 minutes. They're 5 minutes longer into tyre wear than they've been before. Ongaro through the chicane. Just so you know, you'll see Lutz at the bottom of your picture there. And it's really a case of this time round, it was a fight, another fight. He didn't gain again. Lutz pulled away with 500 of a second. So it's not happening as any of us expected. We expected it to be a drift off to the Associated Driving World Champion with the LRP motor. We didn't think the Agama driving American would be able to do what he's done, though he's lost a bit of time there. So that's got a bit closer now due to, I think, a little traffic. So they're now right together again. That lap, good lap. Was it a good lap for Ongaro or a bad lap for Lutz? Bad lap for Lutz. 32, I know, actually both actually. 32.9 against 31.6. So Ongaro put down a great lap, and now he's right behind him. As another back marker gets out of the way, and the first two running together. 25, 26 minutes down, 19 to go. Lutz now on a slightly different fuel strategy just later rather than different. Ongaro right behind him, coming through the switchback. It's the pink and blue car. That is Ryan Lutz from America. The orange and silver car, that is David Ongaro from Italy, your reigning world champion. And your reigning champion of the last event held at Harper Adams 2 years ago. Up they hop again. Ongaro desperately looking to find a way around Ryan Lutz. Ryan Lutz, who's looked quietly confident the entire time he's been here, and certainly has had a lot of support from all around the world, really showing the way home. But the way home is still 18.5 minutes away, and all over the back of him. Ongaro pressurising the American. And this is the thing, though, that the referees are watching. If you're going to go past, it's going to have to be clean. And in fairness to Ongaro, he's an exceptionally clean racer. Now, in many ways, I'm wondering whether a fuel strategy pass might be the best way. The old-fashioned F1 way, go in, get a bit of clear air, put in 2 or 3 quick laps, and when you come out, even if everything goes well for the other driver, you're ahead. Because actually getting past him on this pretty much, and you see he's looking to get inside, knew he couldn't do it. So unless Lutz leaves the door open, he's going to keep getting bashed back. Now, the next stop is probably due in about a minute. They can probably go earlier, but I would say about a minute, as Lutz gained 1 second there because Ongaro didn't want to hit him. So Ongaro, they haven't got the headsets for all these discussions they have in some events. It's all just the old-fashioned shouting at people. So Ongaro now needs to think about what to do. And I would say, if I were he, I would take it 2 more laps, get yourself in the window for the stops, and then effectively give yourself free air. Because Lutz has been running a little bit longer. He's not going to save a stop. He's running a little bit longer. And then you can do a little bit of a chance to have a go. And if you don't get the point where you're about to get there and you lose space, that time round another loss, 6/10 for Ongaro. So Lutz is putting it down now, 2.25 ahead. As Ongaro begins to have half an hour old tyres and he doesn't know what they're like. Lutz happier and balanced at the moment. Still not even 1 accident ahead. Behind them it's Canas in 3rd, dropping off slowly. Burak Klic in 4th. Hal Figueiredo in 5th and Johnny Skidmore in 6th. I'm not overly sure that Ongaro's still particularly happy with his car, if I'm honest. He's not done a lot for the last 5 laps. That last one was a 32.3. Possibly, what is happening is the car is changing during the 45 minutes. It's changing for Ryan as well. And he's having to change with it. And it may just be in a patch at the moment where he's working out what to do. How do I change my style to get the most out of this car? How can I start moving forward again? Whereas Lutz is a little bit happy with the situation his car is in at the moment. That time round, we have a lap time of 32.35. Yeah, there we are. 31.7. Ongaro had a couple of unpleasant laps. And you always feel he was thinking, what am I doing wrong? How can I improve this? What am I doing to get the flow back in the car? As the level of grip changes, as my feeling of it changes, do I need to drive slightly different through the track? But he's now managed to gain better. There's an awful lot of back marker action here, and this could be a chance for Ongaro because it's going to hold up Lutz. Or does he do the F1 thing? Does he pull into the pits because there's traffic? Round about, the traffic knows what's happening now. But Lutz is only, as you can see, about 2 corners ahead. We are now 29 minutes down. Surprised not to see him going in, but Ongaro putting the pressure on. Lutz hops out there, and he is down to 1.6 seconds with Just about half an hour gone, so we're getting under 2/3 of this race underway. Looking like they're going to get past. I think that may be Zantitin again. This looks like a better lap for Lutz, to be honest, visually. He may well have pulled out again slightly. And big, oh no, Lutz has mucked up the entry, then he's lost the lead by mucking up the entry to the pits. Lutz loused the entry to the pits, and they're down again, so the overtake's been done on the pits. Oh, and a mistake by Ongaro immediately. There's all sorts of other traffic around, but the first two are back out together. Oh, and he's going to wait, he's going to wait. I'm sure he's going to wait, keep going. He has waited. Great driving. Lutz knew that needed to wait, but that's not his fault there. The back markers, it's not their fault. They don't know that blue car needs to get right out of the way. That's Canassis. No, Canassis in the lead. That's why. Canassis has taken the lead, I think, in the pit stop kerfuffle. So Canassis, though he does have to go to pit stop, Canassis, the blue car, is now leading. It's Ongaro in second. It's Lutz in third. That is the orange car. Canassis will come to fuel now, loses the lead. He led for a lap, though. And now Ongaro leads from Lutz. All because Lutz made a mistake coming into the pits about 2 minutes ago. Almost compounded by the problem that Ongaro had. As they get round again, it looks like Ongaro's managed to gap very slightly to Lutz. So now, can he hold it? Can he pull away again? He got the free pass effectively by a mistake by Lutz, not on the track, but in the pit entry. And now with another full tank of fuel and 14 minutes to go, can Ongaro gap the car immediately behind him, the pink and blue car of Ryan Lutz, who got a moment in the sun because of various errors. All just hit one car, the other car avoids it. There are a lot of cars around who are finding themselves completely overwhelmed by the speed of these guys. It has been a masterclass by two drivers, and in fairness, Canassis is not far off, who are now, again, nailed together with 14 minutes to go. Lutz just lost some time. He's getting a bit screwy. I'm wondering whether is Lutz losing rear grip? Are his tyres going at the back? I'm sure no one's feeling as well as he did after 31 minutes on these treads. Gained, actually that last time, Ongaro lost 4/10 to Lutz. So visually wasn't as it actually was. So Ongaro leading, Lutz in second. Both down the washboard. Going back away from us now. On the step up, the Italian world champion in the orange and the silver car. The American champion Ryan Lutz in the pink and the yellow machine with the black wing. And interesting, if you remember being here 2 years ago, David Ongaro won the event with initially 2/3 of a wing and finally 1/3 of a wing. But he's got a nice big plastic one now that's not falling off, but he's having a lot more problems because Ryan Lutz, with 13 minutes to go, is saying, no, I'm not handing you this. I know everyone said we thought you were going to win. We know you're the world champion, but I've got other ideas. I want to win my first major race for my new chassis manufacturer. And it was, that wasn't him. That was the back marker crashing, not Ongaro. So Ongaro now suddenly a superb drive by Lutz. He's right behind him again. The gap is nothing, and Lutz gets a drive down the straight. Ongaro as well. They fly into the first corner, flip back into the hole. They're going to pop up out of the bullet now, and sweep down underneath camera 2. And the landing, but no, now it's the time for Ongaro. Ongaro sitting on the apexes. Lutz can't get past them. They come together once, and Lutz waited. Now they keep coming together. Ongaro Canassis is sitting like a hungry shark, waiting to pounce on these two, just 5 seconds behind. So they do trip each other up again. They have to do the waiting game. We could see Canassis once again take the lead. Another car moves out the way. I can't even tell who it is. It's far too exciting to watch his other turn. Lutz fires up the lane, now having lost about 4/10 in that one. But in many ways, much like it's hard to follow really, really closely in F1, it's not an aero race just because you are fast in different points. Another car is wound back in front of Ongaro, and I think that may be Neil Cragg. I'm not certain because there's many yellow and orange cars, you know. And there's Lutz. Ongaro with a slightly better run there. I think it is Cragg moving that way. And Lutz actually made him trying to avoid things. Has lost a couple of tenths. So Ongaro, the little orange flash, then the pink and blue flash behind them as they cross the line now. And the lead goes out to 1.18 seconds, mostly because Lutz was getting a bit confused about how to get past the back marker, actually then let him through. And that's a fishtail mistake, and as you can see, that's 2/3 that's it, it's all you need. Half a mistake, Lutz is back on him again. Now, the old adage, which Murray Walker said catching was one thing, passing was another, and normally in 1/8 nitro racing, that's not so true, but on this track, I think that's absolutely right. I think catching is one thing, and passing is another. Because Lutz seems to be able to, and Ongaro as well, they were able to get close, but actually getting past was virtually impossible. Ongaro down the dip. fires up over the bullet jump. And there is Lutz. The gap was 0.91. Lutz is definitely quicker at that patch underneath the camera, second camera position. Ongaro, I think, is a little bit swifter on quite a bit of the rest of the track, but it's kind of 3/10 there in one or two corners against 3/10 around the rest of the track. And Lutz hanging on for it. Lutz is very quick also. Oh, and Lutz is very quick along the berm, and that's quite polite waiting there because Ongaro was already spinning before he got lightly touched. So Lutz is definitely going to win this completely fair. Ongaro looks up the inside, can he get it? Now he knows he's got advantage. Ongaro this time breaks it down before they go back onto the washboard. Ongaro in the orange, Lutz in the pink and the blue. If you're just joining us, this has been a battle royale after 8 or 9 minutes, but they thought it's a procession. Lutz and Ongaro have been tied together now for 27 minutes. They flip back over the line. Lutz and Ongaro all looking about what they can do, and no, that was Lutz didn't do that, and Lutz takes the lead. So Ongaro, we need to see that one again. Let's wait for a bit before we play it though. Let's see how these next couple of laps play out. Lutz and Ongaro first and second still, and underneath now let's have a look at that replay now. So what happened there? There comes Ongaro. There is Lutz. Ongaro makes a mistake. Yeah, he came across the bows. It looked like he'd been tipped by Lutz, but he hadn't. It's entirely his own making, but luckily it landed and got going. So he lost position, but no more than that. I mean, they're still nailed together as we go further out of 36 minutes. But now it is Ongaro who's a second down after that partial mistake at the one part of the track where he's been struggling, under camera 2. And interesting there, whereas Lutz has been good round the exit of the berm, and was he going for fuel and change his mind? I don't know. So Ongaro now, with Ongaro more, because he's just stretched the lead back out to about a second and a half. Lutz doing a fabulous job. Ongaro, and the two of them serving us up an absolute classic, kind of aided by the fact we've got a lot of traffic on this road. It's quite a short lap. There's a bigger spread than normal between first and 15th. As Lutz goes through, these two need it, and Pavot gets out the way, and it's kind of a moving chicane type thing, and they go for fuel. Lutz gets it right this time, and Ongaro doesn't. Now, I thought he might have just gone, so it's even Stevens there, already down, and out has gone Lutz. And Ongaro now has got a battle on, because that is the last pit stop. They're on the last section. They got 7.5 minutes. He's made a mistake, Ongaro coming in, and the young Italian is fallible, and Ryan Lutz has found his underbelly, the weak underbelly. Perhaps it's just the tyres are worn too much, but he is going to be something like 5 seconds behind now with about 7 minutes to go. Well, exactly 8 minutes to go. No, exactly 7 minutes to go. Sorry, right first time. 7 minutes to go now, and the gap is 4 seconds. Okay, it's 4 seconds. 3 seconds on Ongaro. So, because Knaus is back in the lead again. Sorry, Knaus is in the lead. Ongaro is in third. Knaus is pitting later. And I think that Knaus may actually come out almost exactly on Ongaro, because he's about 6 seconds ahead of Ongaro. Ongaro's 3.5 behind Lutz. But when Knaus comes in for fuel, he's leading at the moment, and Knaus comes in now and takes a very safe stop. I think that Knaus may well come out with or just ahead of Ongaro, and indeed he does come out just ahead. So now it is Knaus has made a mistake, I think, coming out. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, Knaus, I think, made a mistake. It's hard to tell up that far end. There's Ongaro. Is Ongaro ahead or is Ongaro behind Knaus? No, Ongaro is behind Knaus. So it's Knaus in second, who's ahead of Ongaro in third, and they're both 3 seconds or 2 or 3 seconds behind Lutz. And this is an absolute godsend for Lutz. Knaus from nowhere has gone and blown it. So right now that's released Ongaro. We'll have to save that for later, because now it's a 6-minute chase. Knaus again had a chance, felt the pressure, but the net effect is 2.7 seconds in 6 minutes. Can Ongaro do it? He's been the class of the field. He TQ'd all 6 qualifiers. He won his semi-final, of course he did. He led the first 10 minutes of this race like it wasn't even going to be a problem. But now he finds himself trying to chase the tall, affable, lanky American Ryan Lutz, and he has in just 5 minutes and 31 seconds to make up a gap of, and I will tell you in a second how far that gap is. The gap is on your screen now at 3.24 seconds. So he lost a bit of time there. So it's Lutz and Ongaro. They won't be in the same shot because Ongaro's so far behind. Is this just the case? It was a few minutes too far for the setup of the tyres of the Associated, or is it just a case that Ryan Lutz has outthought Ongaro, only been interested in the final the whole time, a bit like a wily old fox like Robert Bataille normally is, and decided what I'm going to do is not worry about the youngsters and their fun and their TQs, just get myself in position to win the race, because he's always looked on the pace. But he lost half a second there, 31.28. That was the fastest lap of the race by David Ongaro, and to my mind about the second fastest lap of the meeting on 40-minute-old tyres. Now you're going to see the real skill of a world champion. Can he pull back that gap? It's 2.78 seconds. He's got about 8 laps to do it in. Can it happen? Will Lutz make a mistake? Will Lutz crack? Ongaro goes round now. Was it again that time round on the lap? It was 32.6, 31.9 as he gained 0.7 of a second. Ongaro flying now, trying to make up the gap that was his own making by the accident he had coming into the pits a few minutes ago. Chasing down Lutz. Ongaro up and away over the Marks' corner and now up on the tabletop. I've not seen him losing anything. 41 down. Oh, he lost a couple of tenths there and he can't even afford that. You see that Lutz is not in the shot. So Lutz has already passed start finish. And the no, it's gone. Ongaro's in the lead. Where's Lutz gone? Lutz had a problem. Ongaro's in the lead. What's happened to Lutz? Is Ongaro? No, Lutz and Ongaro swapped twice. Ongaro had a problem. Lutz had a problem. Didn't see Lutz have the problem to lose the lead. So Lutz, I think, must have gone wide on the berm. Ongaro came underneath him, but then Ongaro himself had a problem in the dip, and Lutz got back past again. So if you cut this race, it looks like nothing happened, because they're still 2 seconds apart with 3.5 minutes to go, but the lead has swapped twice in the last lap in a remarkable fashion, as Lutz made a mistake and then got it back immediately as Ongaro fell into the dip here, and the gap is back to 2.5 seconds with 3 minutes to go. So, coming round the corner, where is Lutz? Lutz is just landing the Marks' corner now. That is Lutz, you can see him, there he is. Lutz and Ongaro. Ongaro now coming round the Nemo Racing berm. There is 2 minutes and 40 seconds to go. They're in the same shot because they're that close. Lutz seems to have lost a little bit of pace, and he lost 0.7 of a second. But it is now on a knife edge. These cars are basically worn out. And let's see what happens now. And you can see it's closer this time than last time. He only lands the Marks' corner as Ongaro takes off. Now, Ongaro can see him, but it's a zero mistake situation with 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go. Lutz being reeled in, but we do know there's a difference between catching and passing. They're now easily in the same frame. Not a stress for the cameraman at all to do it. That round was a gain of about, actually Ongaro actually lost 1/10 of a second. Must have lost it in those last couple of corners. Both went sub 32 on 42-minute-old tyres. Will Ongaro get close enough to bite in the last 2 minutes? They are right together in what has become what we all thought would be a procession, but has turned out to be a classic 45-minute final here at the DXR Dirt Kings. Lutz sweeping round, he's lost some time. Oh, and you can see the grips going. Ongaro having to control the slide. And now 2 minutes and 1 minute and 40 seconds to go. There are 3 laps, I would say, as the lead came down by just 0.2 of a second. Lutz has to keep his head on, but more importantly, has to make sure he doesn't get caught up by Ongaro, who's a little bit quicker through the camera turn there and over the washboard. Up and down. The lead last time was 1.59 seconds. It's no closer this time. 1.6 seconds it was. I think it may well have gone slightly back to Lutz with 2 laps after. But they're going to get, they might get 3. I think they're only going to get 2 laps. If they get 3, it'll be by the skin of their teeth, and they'll need to be swift. So it could be it's going to fall into Lutz's hand. There's only 2 laps for Ongaro to try and catch up, and he's 2.36 behind. It's probably going to take Lutz making a bit of a mistake for this to happen. So can we switch our focus to Lutz, please? So he will need to make a mistake in this last minute and a half for Ongaro to catch him. If not, we're going to see Lutz across the line for a truly remarkable victory at the DXR Dirt Kings 2019. They will get 1 more lap, so they're only at 44.30. They are going to get this lap and one more. Ongaro 1.7 seconds behind. And as he fires up and lands, you'll see Ongaro taking off, but he's not been able to make up that 1.7. It's been that sort of gap for the last lap. Juan Carlos Canas is only 7 seconds behind that, and that's after a couple of accidents. So there goes Ryan Lutz. He is about to start his last lap. I'm just wondering, actually, if Ongaro is going to start his last lap. Is Ongaro's been caught. Lutz is your winner. Ryan Lutz from nowhere has won the DXR Dirt Kings. He's getting a lap of honour. The American with the Agama is going to take the win. Unbelievable. The tall man, car 2, position 2, has taken a truly surprising victory. Unbelievable. Coming under, he's just driven it off. Ongaro, couple of mistakes, things went wrong, lost by a couple of seconds, and that's all. Lutz gets a whole lap to himself and has won the DXR against all. Hearty congratulations from Ongaro. You've got to say that's well done as they drive the cars in. That is a remarkable feat of driving, it has to be said. So let's see if we can, is that on? So we're going to try and do a bit of RF fun. Okay, it's on now. You can turn it on now. 1-1. Make sure you get the output sound right as well, Paul. Okay, so what a remarkable result that was. A big surprise in the win there for cameraman. Can you make sure you can try and see me when I come out? A great surprise there. We all thought it was going to be Ongaro without any effort whatsoever, but the win has gone to Ryan Lutz. And I now have to try and walk against the flotsam and jetsam of human beings who are walking the other way. After a fantastic race, let's see if I can find Ryan. Shouldn't be too hard, he's quite tall. And just walking towards Ryan now. I will bring him out for a conversation. Not sure if we'll get a chance with Ongaro, but obviously there's a all clear. He's taking the congratulations. Let's see if I can just grab Ryan. Getting the congratulations, Ryan Lutz, and all the other drivers. An amazing performance. Obviously the surprise is that it's not a win for Ongaro. Let's see if I can get both our drivers. Lots of cuddles going on down here. It's very nice. Nothing like a cuddle. And what I'm going to try and do is I will... Ryan, if you could just come out this way. Davide, this way, both come across. Let's have a quick chat with our winner and our runner-up, who put on a 45-minute battle royale. Guys, we got the camera over there, so we'll start. I'll stand in the middle. That's quiet. Ryan, first of all, congratulations. You have surprised everybody here.
Awesome. Well, my mouth is dry. That was good.
When did you know you had a chance of winning? Because we all thought, oh, Davide, he'll be away and gone, and that's it. He did make an early break.
I actually was hoping before the race even started, because I saw what tires he was choosing to run. And while we both run AKA, I saw he was going with the qualifying tire, the AK Typo in clay. And I was running super soft long wear, zips in the front, double downs in the rear. So I knew my tires would be good for the whole run, while I knew he was going to be on slicks for the last half. So I was just hoping that he'd get in some dust and make some mistakes, and I'd be able to stay with him at the beginning.
You got in the lead, and then you made a mistake coming in the pits. That must have been a nightmare.
Yeah, I suck coming into pits normally, so it happened again. But just got to stay with him, and it came out all right.
New chassis, first big win. It must be really, really, really heartening.
It's awesome to do it in buggy. You know, Nitro is the glory, right, Keenan? Just to be able to do that and playing against the world champion here and battling for the whole race, that was just awesome. Not bad for an old guy. Brilliant.
Thank you, Ryan. And now a quick word with Davide. Davide, you dominated the meeting all the way through. You got out in the front at the start. I have to ask you, even though you drove a brilliant race and were brilliant, what went wrong?
I think I made too many mistakes. Also because the tire at the half of the race was maybe finished. But I tried to push to stay with Ryan, but he was so fast, and congrats to him.
It was very noticeable. You were constantly changing your style, and you could still produce those quick laps even on slick tyres. I mean, how do you manage to find those super quick laps even when you run out of grip?
I think you have to stay on the right line on the track and not go on the dirt. But this race was okay. Car was good, and I want to thank all the sponsors for support, and I'm happy.
You put in a brilliant performance. You've entertained us all, and that was a great race. Thank you, Davide.
Thank you.
So a absolutely surprising result from the DXR Dirt Kings 2019, but one of the most fantastic races we've been privileged to have, as we sit around thinking that we're only going to have, an easy win for Davide Ongaro. But no, Ryan Lutz from nowhere has taken the victory for Agama. He's taken the victory for the United States. And in many ways, that's why we love Nitro Racing. We all sit around. I kept saying to Matt Guppy yesterday, you never know. You never know. It's Nitro. Something can happen. Must admit, I did think that for Davide to get beaten, he'd need to be beaten by circumstances beyond his control. And in a way, he was. He was beaten by a very tall American who wasn't with his control. Thank you so much for being with us here at the DXR Dirt Kings for the 4 days over Easter. My name's Nick Damon. You've heard from Paul Bateman a few times. Yeehaw, Frank McKinney on the camera over there. I'm currently being shot by Ash Leontine. Thank you to Scott. Thank you to Rob. Thank you to Matt, who joined us as guests during this event. And thank you so much to the DXR team for inviting us, putting on this event. And in 3 hours, this won't be here anymore. Until then, also thank you to Nemo Racing and Bullet. We are back as RC Racing in just about 9 days in Manila in 48-degree heat for the first round of RCGP. Do not miss it. It is going to be unbelievable. We'll have Davide there. We'll have a number of other top drivers here as well. But until then, we'll say goodbye. Thank you so much and enjoy your racing, and see you in Manila.